Excellent. So welcome.
Fantastic.
Yeah. You've got two things going on up there. So you have the engine. Let's talk about that first. The engine. So what's the technology behind that, and what's obviously you talked a little bit. Let's get too deep into it, but where are you at with that technology and the development on that?
So that technology is based on fluid dynamics physics. So that's how we change everything on propulsion system. Where we are at, we already have two proof of concept. One is the scale model aircraft, which we proved that it flies and it reaches 60 miles per hour top speed. And the other proof of concept is a fluid dynamics simulation software, which is a third party, which we didn't pay, and they simulate the thrust that we're gonna get.
Excellent. The second part was the aircraft. And talk a little bit about where you are in the development of that aircraft. You're obviously probably using the same engine technology, but so where are you at with that aircraft development?
So the important thing that we have is the intellectual property of the propulsion system. Two utilizations is for the eVTOLs that we designed, and the other one is the retrofit side. So on the aircraft, it's pretty advantageous because we are able to certify an aircraft now before waiting for any other multi-copter or any other drone in the market. So that's pretty good.
So you're able to certify them now under the...
Once we have a full-size aircraft, which we don't have yet, we're going to be able to start certification process without waiting.
Okay, excellent. You have the retrofit, which I think is interesting, and we see the aircraft, and quite honestly, particularly Europe, the question is, you get to zero emission, that's where that big goal is. So, what type of aircraft are you looking at doing the retrofit on with these engines?
So, since we want to start with defense because it's a lower barrier of entry, we go with the big drones. The bigger the better, the ones that they have more, these are the key target there. For civil aviation, we're looking for the same. What we need to do for civil aviation is a STC, a supplemental type certificate. We will be able to sell this to the FAA. We're going to be able to convert many aircrafts at the same type, the same model.
Excellent, excellent. So your path forward, obviously certification, getting into next steps and getting the prototype built. So what's the company looking for moving forward to make sure that happens? What's the kind of the pathway for you from a financial standpoint?
That's right. So it's a challenge because investors nowadays invest in software and software as a service and with a hardware and with a cash intensive development. So we need $5 million to produce the full size propulsion system and prove the world that this works. We have used scientific method all the way, so we're trying to do the same and continue with that. And at that point, there's no question that this is going to work. We know it's going to work. It's just we need to prove that to the lawyers, to the financiers, and people that are not in aviation.
Yeah. So let's talk about, I thought it was interesting that you talked about the drone being almost stealth. Is that just because of the reduction in noise, or is there other things on that will go on there that will help take those drones that usually fly with baby pig on a radar to something different?
So with a big drone like a Global Hawk, well, we keep the airframe as it is. We need to do some modification on the tail to allow a big part of the propulsion system. So we put some batteries, we don't need fuel anymore. The important thing is that we reduce radar signature, heat signature. There's no heat signature anymore. Because there's no fumes, there's no exhaust, there's no oil, there's no hydraulics, there's none of that complication. And the noise. The other important thing, we can fly higher because we don't need oxygen. There's no combustion, again.
Yeah, that does make sense. Yeah, nobody's in there to pass out.
Exactly.
How far away are you from, time frame, if you had, you got your capital, how far are you out from getting commercialized with this, even in defense?
Right, so what we're able to do now is sell patents. That immediately we can do now to get some cash. And once we get the 5 million, we produce the full-size propulsion system in 12 months.
Excellent. Okay, well, Saul, thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
Appreciate it.
Thank you. Thank you.